Hello guys and welcome to this tutorial. My name is Victor and today I will talk about the form submission and I will use Ajax to submit this form. This tutorial requires basic knowledge of PHP, MySQL, CSS, HTML and JavaScript as well. And let's get started. Actually, the first step is to create a database, and I will work on a local server, and I use the PHP my admin, and as you see, I already have a database which is tutorial, and I will go ahead and create the first table, which is users, and then this table will have 4 columns. The first one is for ID, and this is the primary key, and we check it here, and then we have the nickname, and we have a password, and the last one is the session, and we won't use this session in this tutorial, but let's go ahead and save it like this. We will use it in the next tutorial, and using this session we will check if the user is online or offline on our website. Now let's go ahead and save it, and now let's insert the first user, and the nickname will be admin and the password admin12. I'll save it, and then we see we have here a new user. Okay, now let's go ahead and create our first PHP file. I don't have anything in my in this map right now, in this folder, the main folder, so I'll go ahead and create the first file, and here actually I will use only HTML codes. HTML, and I'll save it as index.php, and then we have a head here, we have a title, oops. And we should call our style CSS file as well, and then our jQuery library and our JavaScript file. So let's go ahead and write here the first one. Let's call our CSS style. Oops, Arial, this is style. Yes, and then we have the location, and it's gonna be another folder CSS, and then we will have the file style.css. Alright, now we should call here our jQuery library, and let's go ahead and search for it on Google. So let's write here last version of jQuery, and there it is, the first one. And let's download. I already have it actually. I will copy, and then I will create another folder here, which is JS, and in this new folder I will paste this file. And then let's go back to our notepad, to our editor. So let's write here the script tag, and we have type here, and this is text and JavaScript. And then the location, we have our folder, it's JS, and then the name of our library, I forgot here on our CSS we should also write the type, and then we have here text and CSS. Alright, and then let's call our we will have another JavaScript. So let's write the same code, and we just change the name to JavaScript. Alright, now we have body here, and we have another div ID, which is container, and then we have here another div class, which is a response. Actually, we don't have to write like that, we can leave it just like this. And then we have our form, and we have an ID here as well, and the ID is login, and then the action we just leave it like this, and the method should be post. And in this form we have two fields. So the first one is for our nickname, and the second one type, and the second one is for our password. And then we have our enter button, submit, value, enter. Alright, let's write for some like this. So let's save this file and let's go ahead and check it. Yeah, we have our form here, and as we see here we have a CSS file which is style.css, and let's create this file. So we have our ID's container, and then we need another folder. Of course we need a new folder for our CSS style, so let's go ahead and create the CSS, and here we save our style.css file. Alright, let's write some code here. Let's make this form a little bit more beautiful. So okay, go ahead and write PT. We have some padding, a background, we have a border, and text center. Alright, let's save it and let's check. Let's see the result. Too long. Alright, that's much better. Okay, so we have our style CSS, we have our jQuery library, and now we should create our JavaScript file. Oh, I forgot here. We should change the name to let's remove this. Just remove this, and we should leave just javascript.js. Alright, I'm sorry about that. So let's save this file and let's create another file. So this is not the first time when I'm trying to record this video. And I will just paste this code here and I will save it in our JS folder as javascript.js. So I'll go through this code and I will explain a few important things for you. So we have a variable which is a login, and in this variable we assign to this variable actually the login ID, which is in our form tag, right? So the information is like we assign the information from our form to this login variable. Like it's gonna save the data, right? The information that the user will write on those fields. And then we have a response. This is a div class response, which is also in our index PHP right here. So here our Ajax will send the response which will come from our login.php file. So from here it starts the Ajax function, and the Ajax needs a URL for a PHP file, right? Here's the location to our PHP file, which is called by Ajax, and then the type, as we have here, the method is post. So we use a post method to send the data, and then the data type is HTML. Here you can put anything here actually. It depends on what kind of data you will receive from your login PHP file, right? So I just put HTML in this case, and the HTML, and before the jQuery gets any response from our login.php file, it will show up this loading world. So as you see here, it's not so complicated, it's not hard to understand it, and we need to create, as you see here, we need to create another Ajax folder, and in this folder we should create another login PHP file. Okay, let's go ahead and create it. So we need another Ajax map folder, and we should also create another PHP file and name it, save it in our Ajax folder and name it a login.php. Let's make an echo and let's check if everything works okay. Let's save it. Let's go to our index, let's refresh the page, and let's click enter. So yeah, it works. Our Ajax is working. Alright, let's go back to our login.php. So before we start working with this file, we need another file actually to write and we will write there our connection, our MySQL connection. So let's go ahead and create another one, and this file is also a PHP file, and we will save it in our main folder, and let's name it on .php. Now I will just paste it, and I will explain few things here. So we have a new class here, which is connection, and this class extends the PDO class or object, you can say. And then the only thing you should change in this code is this your type of database, which is MySQL, and then the host. In my case, it's localhost, and then the database name, which in my case is tutorial, and I have a user, and on my local server it's root. The username is root, and I don't have any password for this user, so I just left it empty. Okay, I'll save this file, and then I will go back to my login.php file, and I will require once that connection. So I'll require the config.php file. Now in this file we have another class. We have another object, and we name it user. And in this class we have another a new function, and we name it login. Alright, and this function has two parameters. First one is the nickname, and then we have our password. Once we call this configuration file, we need another variable and we should assign to this variable the connection to our database. So we have this variable db, and then we assign to this variable our connection class, right? We assign a new object to this variable, and then let's go ahead and check in our database if there is such a user, if there is any user with such nickname and password. So we have another variable user, and we use our connection, and then we use our prepare statement. Let's select an ID from users where the nickname is equal to name, for example, and then we have our password equal to pass. So we prepare this query, and now let's go ahead and execute it. We use right now PDO, the PDO driver of PHP. So it's a little bit different than MySQLi. Alright, now we have our name variable, and we assign to this variable the nickname parameter, and then we have our pass, and we assign to it the password parameter. Alright, now let's check. Now we have an if user row count. So what is if as actually we check if there is any row in our user variable. If there is something in this variable, like if there is a row, it means there is a user with such nickname and password, right? So we just go ahead and we will show the user nickname, right? We will say hi, nickname, else. There is no user. Let's go. The nickname or password is incorrect. And now we want to return our variable, which has the information about our um, function, about the response of our function. And let's go ahead and save, and yeah, let's go ahead and call this function right now. Let's output the response from this function. So to output the response from this function, we should write echo, and then actually we have another variable. We have a variable which is user, and then we assign to this user the class, the user object. So new user, like we did in previous, like we did with our database connection, right? So now let's output this function, login function, from user class, right? So let's write here user, and then we have our function login, which has two parameters. So as we send our information from our form to the post method, we uh, we should send, we will write here, we use our post global variable, um, which has the nickname, right, from here, the nickname, and then we have a password. Alright, everything looks good. Let's check one more time. Okay, let's see if it works. So I will just click enter. Let me refresh. I will refresh the page and let's click enter. So the nickname or password is incorrect because there is no user, or there is no user with such nickname and password. And now let's try admin, and admin12, because this is our password, right? Yes. And then let's click enter, and there you go. So let's go ahead and I will explain you again. Like, let's make like a small explanation again for all this code. So what our script does actually, after we click enter from our index PHP, after we click enter, we call the Ajax function, right? And this function calls the login.php file, and this file will send a response, and this file will send a response, like for example this function returns a response, right, from our function, and this Ajax will show the response in our response div class from our index.php, which is right here. So the benefit of using Ajax on a web page is that, for example, if we want to change something small on the web page, for example, there's or like or dislike on a particular blog post, for example, we don't have to reload the whole page if we want to put just a like or a dislike, because there's extra queries to the database, and it makes it slow. It slow down the website, and it's a very useful function. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you have any questions, guys, you are more than welcome to post them on the bottom of this video. I will also leave my website in the description, and you can go there and find this code that I just wrote it here. And don't forget to subscribe for this channel, and thank you again for watching, and see you in the next video tutorial.